Good morning, beautiful people. It is the 6th of May, and today I bring to you your daily insight and guidance. So how this works, guys, is I'm going to pull out 3 cards. I want you to take a moment and focus on card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. Whichever one you are most drawn to is where your energy is for the day. So let's begin. I need to select 3 cards randomly out of my beautiful deck. It's number 1, number 2, number 3. So just take a moment. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Which one are you most drawn to? I'm very excited. I'm halfway through my deck, so still only halfway, still a while to go, but I'm very excited. All right, guys, you ready? Number 1, number 2, and number 3. So let's pop 2 and 3 up out of the way. See what number 1 has to offer. Detox. Okay. Detox, exercise, and motivation. Okay. So, guys, that's one of the things I always like about these cards, a nice clear message. So detoxing, motivation, and encouragement you can do for us. For those of you that are focused on number 1, I know that our lifestyle changes have definitely changed over the last few weeks. And perhaps we're just looking to become a little bit healthier as well. You know, I want to draw on the emotional side of these cards as well, because for the most part, this card here definitely sits at a 50-50 for me as far as where it relates to food and when it relates to emotion. And so I want to encompass both within this reading to make sure that I'm covering a nice, broad, general perspective for both of you, both sides, I should say. Okay, so when we talk about detoxing, it is that. It's releasing what no longer serves us, okay? So whether that be food or emotions, whether it be a person, what these cards are drawing on you to do is to start to release that no longer serves, that is causing you harm, that brings about unhealth, unbalance, all of those kind of things. Okay? Motivation and exercise, getting busy. So what they're really saying is it's time. It really needs to happen. There's a stagnation that happens around when all of this energy sits too tight. And they're just reminding you can do this. You've got it. Just make that decision, make a commitment to yourself. And again, regardless of what facet that this card is falling into for you today, it's telling you to release what no longer serves. Motivation and exercise. Encouragement, you can do this, okay? And so for number 1 today, that is your reading, okay? It is time to start releasing what no longer serves you around. It is ultimately going to cause you some kind of harm as far as health, as far as happiness, and all of those kind of things go. Okay, reminding you that it is time to do it now and that you do need to throw some motivation and energy into this. But again, a nice gentle encouragement. You've got this. You got this. You can do it. Okay, so number 1, there are your cards for the day. So I'm just going to pop number 1 off to the side. Let these 2 little beauties get moulded back into the deck. Nice quick little shuffle. And let's see what number 2 has to offer today. Nice. You are guided. You are blessed. Pretty sure this card came out yesterday too. So when this card comes out, it's always that beautiful reminder that you are blessed by spirit, that it is time to draw on your confidence, honor yourself. Let's see what else comes out. The fun card. Beautiful. Okay, so what your card's talking about today, number 2, is just that honor self really stands out for me within those cards. Okay, this card is all about fun. For me, I call it the fun card, all right? Love, romance, love, improvement. For me today, very much so, and quite often, more often than not, this card for me focuses on self-love, okay? And so what the cards are letting you know, and just really gently reminding you, is to, when we honour ourselves first, the confidence will build, all right? And so it's very easy to say have confidence, but when we don't know how, that's seemingly impossible. And so by starting to honour ourselves, and honouring ourselves, all we need to do is treat ourselves like we would a best friend. We're gentle to ourselves, we're mindful of the way we speak to ourselves, we're gentle to the way that we look after ourselves, and so by bringing those little qualities in and around ourselves, our confidence starts to build, because we automatically start to feel more aligned to ourselves. We start to feel better within ourselves, and that starts to bring hope, and it starts to bring joy, and it starts to build our confidence. Okay, now this card's always a reminder that it's like that old saying, you know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And so what they're saying is to keep the fun in, keep the life in, and especially when we are learning to honor ourselves and to build our confidence. One of the things that I'm blessed with at the moment is having young children, and quite often I'll remember to look at the world through their eyes. So when you're walking in a park or down at the beautiful lake like I have here, you know, the smallest little things are so intriguing, and they spark curiosity, and, you know, rolling in the grass and all of those kind of little bits and pieces like that. And very much so, it's a reminder here that if we spend all of our time, you know, for example, trying to improve ourselves, trying to build up our confidence and everything else like that, it becomes like a job, it becomes a task, and it's no longer fun or easy or anything else like that. It becomes really mundane. And so very much so, keep the fun in it. Keep the fun in it. Challenge yourself in fun ways. You know, pick a class that you've never done before when you're able, and go and do it. All of those kind of little bits and pieces. Push your boundaries. Okay, push your boundaries. Children don't know that they can't do something until you tell them that they can't. All right, and so keep that in mind. How many times have you told yourself you can't? And it's time to tell yourself that you can. And this brings about that love improvement. And for me, as I said, today very much represents self-love. Absolutely, when we feel better about ourselves, our external relationships are improved. But I want to focus on the relationship you have with yourself within the energy that these cards are giving. And there, it's what I want to say. You spend a little bit of time, just make that decision. I'm no longer going to keep beating myself down. I'm no longer going to give myself negative self-talk. All of those kind of little bits and pieces as to how it relates to you. To remember to keep that fun in it, okay? And that's going to bring about some beautiful improvements in self-love. And I'll tell you now, when you see improvements in self-love, you start to see improvements in other facets too. Relationships, work, finances, all of those kind of little bits and pieces all come into play because you're aligned to yourself. So if you're stuck in a little bit of a rut, things aren't exactly where you want them to be, okay, there's your key. Self-honor. All right. Let's pop that one to the side and moldy these two back in, and let's see what number 3 has to offer today. Our final card for the day. Intuition. Love the intuition. All right. Ooh, some more fun. Okay. So, intuition, hitting brick walls, and the fun card is back. All right, so what this talks about for me very much so is number 3's trusting, building that intuition. Okay, so what this card's indicating is that when you don't trust yourself, when you go against the grain, when you have that gut feeling and you go, no, I'm going to ignore that, you run into brick walls. It was funny, somebody said to me the other day, they go, I'm stuck, you know, I can't decide between my head and my heart of what I want to do. And what I said to them was, forget your head, forget your heart, trust your gut. Trust your gut, okay? And so this is what these cards are reminding you of, that if you don't trust yourself, you're going to run into brick walls, all right? Having some fun into it. Now, for me, this card's relating to building up this intuition, okay? Because building intuition and psychic ability and everything else like that, absolutely it has the ability to do your head in. But if you keep it fun, it's a lot easier. It's a lot clearer too. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so what they're also showing me is that this card's representing, you know, when things are heavy, when we need to make changes around us, if we just spend a day chilling out, getting back to basics. So I always say spend some time in nature because it grounds us, it connects us to the earth's energies. You're going to have a lot clearer trust as well. Okay, it's almost like you're turning on walking into a dark room and you're trying to stumble your way across the room and there's furniture in the way and you keep bumping into it because you can't see. Okay, but when you turn on the light, you get to see everything and you can make a clear course across the room. Okay, and so that's what these cards are reminding you of today. That you need to build up your trust in yourself, to trust that intuition, to trust that psychic that comes through. As I said, because when you don't, you're going to run into brick walls. Keep your energy nice and loose as well, okay? And that's the thing too, you know, for those of you that are trying to make decisions around this, when we take some time to trust ourselves and to just have a little bit of fun and everything else like that, it's like we get to clear away, you know. It's like when the ocean wave comes in and it pulls back all the shells and all the seaweed that's on the beach, and you pull it back and there's this beautiful clear sand that's left. Okay, it's that same energy that's there. So I hope, guys, that you have enjoyed your cards for today. This is number 3, number 2, and number 1. All right, so join me tomorrow. I'll be back, and I will be back on a little bit earlier tomorrow. I'm going to start posting these at about 7 o'clock in the morning for you guys, okay? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please also subscribe to my Facebook page, which is Elizabeth Bratcher, Psychic Medium. And just a little heads up, there is a competition being drawn on my Facebook page today for 2 half-an-hour readings. So if you haven't entered already, definitely jump onto that. But otherwise, guys, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.